How's everyone doing? All right, Cody there, back again, dropping yet another video. Um, Today's video is just going to be on like a bit of court advice and stuff. First of all, in the wake of yesterday's terror events in London, I just like to say my thoughts and prayers and condolences go out to all those affected, people that are injured, people that have sadly passed away. Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs. We're proud, we're British, and we won't let them scumbags, terrorist scumbags, fucking stop us. We're proud and we're British, and that means a few things. And yeah, right, guys, I'll leave that there. Like I say, God bless them all. May they rest in peace. Moving forwards, right, today's video this morning, I've not long being up and stuff, right? So this one's just going to be on advice for court, right? So if you find yourself in a position where you've been arrested, you've been charged, right? You've been arrested, you've been questioned, the police have bailed you, or they've charged you, and then they've bailed you and then charged you, right? You get a court date, right? Magistrates, Crown, whatever. Right, like if you go to magistrates, magistrates, to those that don't know, magistrates court, right, is like you've got they're only, it's minor offences, right? You can be up on a serious charge at a magistrates court, but like they'll send you for Crown and stuff. They'll send you to Crown for sentencing. In practical theory, what I'm saying is, a magistrates court can only sentence you to 6 months in prison. Right, anything above that, right, you're looking at Crown Court, so it's committed to Crown Court for sentence. But if you're going not guilty on an offence, say you've been done with, like, I don't know, assault on police, right, something I've been done for, right, and you're at magistrates court, and they say to you, right, they'll put it to you, do you want to be dealt with by the magistrates court, right, i.e. in that court that you're at, or go to Crown Court? Now, people think, oh, well, I don't want to go Crown Court, like, you can get longer and everything else, but magistrates court, like, they're not legally trained, right? The judges that sit at the top, they're not legally trained, right? It's the court clerk that sits in front of them on the computer. She's legally trained and she advises them what to do, right? If you go for a trial, right, at a magistrate's court, right, no, there's no jury, right? They decide what's happening with you, and it's done by the book, right? I'm talking through my experience, right? In my younger days, when I was fucking stupid, before I knew what I know now, hence why I'm passing this information on to you guys, right? Like, I said I wanted to be dealt with by a magistrate's court, right? So I had a trial at a magistrate's court, and I got fucked over. Simple as that. Yeah, like I say, they're not legally trained, so and the thing is, right, if you go to a Crown Court as well, like if you're running trial, for those that don't know, running trial means you're pleading not guilty and you go into trial, right? When you go to trial, you have, like, there's 12 members of the jury, right? You just need 2 of them to find you innocent, right? And you're getting off with it, right? So, like I say, you've got a better. So what I'm saying to you in theory, right, is you've got a better chance if you go to Crown Court. Now, people might think, oh, well, I don't want to go to Crown because I can get sentenced to longer in Crown Court, right? If you get dealt with by a magistrate's court and you plead guilty at a magistrate's court for an offence, right, or they can still send you to Crown Court for committal for sentence because they can only give you 6 months in prison. If you're looking at a firearms charge or something like that, or assault or GBH somewhere, right, you're going to get sent to Crown Court anyway, because, like I say, magistrates courts they're only really fit for dealing with, like, minor criminal offences, and driving, fucking silly driving offences and things like that. And stuff like that. So yeah, so like I say, if you're brief, because make sure, right, you don't go to court and start representing yourself and shit, right? If you're not working, right, you can get a thing called legal aid, right? But as soon as you're arrested, you ask for a solicitor, and you just say, look, I'm not working, and they can give you legal aid. They'll fill in a legal aid form with you, and then you'll get granted legal aid, and then that's for you to fight your case, right? So yeah, so that's that. Like I say, Crown Court, like it can be a scary thing for people. Like, example, I'm living in Manchester, so we've got two Crown Courts here. We've got Crown Square, right, and then we've got Minchell Street, yeah. And they're both big old courthouses, yeah, man. Like fucking, you walk in and stuff, and you go on trial, yeah, and you're in the dark, and there's screws, there's a screw like either side of you, or just one screw depending on like what your charges are and that. Then the jury, you've got the fucking court clerk, yeah, you've got the usher, you've got the prosecution, you've got the defence, and then you've got this top senior fucking judge all getting about in these big wigs and stuff, and you know that judge has the power to change your life for the better, i.e. not sending you to prison or sending you to prison. And they're pretty ruthless little bastards. Some of them are decent, and some of them are ruthless pricks. The last time I came before a judge, she was a woman. She was a recorder. A recorder, for those that don't know, is a judge that only six weeks of the year, right? So they're quite trigger happy when it comes to sending you down. So I got slammed. The kid before me she sent like 3 people down, and then I was up next, and I thought, my barrister's like, listen mate, you're going home, I've got a bag there, I've got a big bag packed with all my stuff, because I was expecting prison, and my barrister's telling me, no, you're not going jail. The probation who did my pre-sentence report, like, listen, you're not going court, you're not going prison, right? What does she do? Bitch sent me straight down. And you know what? Yeah, serious. Like, you just have to make the best of a worse situation. Like I say, from every courthouse, right? If you go to a court and like you have preliminary hearings and you have plea management, like case plea management, where you like they'll ask you like plea of direction. Sorry, so if you're pleading guilty or not guilty, you got preliminary hearings. You've got you've got all these sorts of stuff. Then you can apply for an acquittal with no case to answer. That means that the charges against the case against you is very weak, and you've applied for the case to be dismissed, i.e. kicked out. So if he gets kicked out, you walk out. After being on remand for witness intimidation at Strangeways Prison here in Manchester, you have the thing called a bail app, right? You can only get, like, you get 3, and then once your 3's ran out, or your 2, I think you get 2 or 3, I can't remember now. But then you've got to have a change in circumstance, i.e. if you're on like a charge of witness intimidation, but then the CPS lower it to attempted witness intimidation, that's a change in circumstance. So you can go back through for the application. You can go back for a bail application. A bail application means you stay in prison. It's called judging chambers, right? And what it means is that the judge sits in the court like thing. He's got all the evidence before him, and he makes a decision whether you get bail or not. I was lucky I got bail, and then I was also acquitted on the charges. The police dropped the charges against me because there was bullshit charges, yeah, man. But like I say, the court process can be quite scary and daunting for a lot of people. Just because you've been charged with an offence doesn't mean you're guilty. I was charged with no evidence, right? So that just shows you, right? The police can charge you with there's things like holding charges where the police can charge you with an offence, right? And then they refuse your police bail, so that means you have to go to court from the police station. You have to go to court, and then you have to have a bail application. Your solicitor tries to get you bail and stuff. I've been bailed from that situation as well. Been in trouble way too much, I'm telling you. But yeah, like I say, it's a daunting experience for some, but just because you've been charged with an offence, you don't have to stress. It doesn't mean you're fucking necessarily guilty, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they've got the evidence on you. It's a game. It's like you've got a 50-50 chance, really, aren't you? Right? If you know the case against you is weak, right? If you're guilty and you know the case against you is weak, right? Like, there's a chance you can get off, right? But if you throw your hand in, i.e. if you plead guilty, you get a third off. So say you're looking at 9 years for a crime. If you plead guilty, right, you will get 3 years off, because a third of 9 split into 3 is 3 years, right? So you get 3 years off your sentence, right? If you run trial, right, you get nothing off, right? You get nothing, like fuck all, because you get no credit then. So some people want to do deals. A deal doesn't mean that you're aggressive. A deal just means that, like, you've spoken to your brief, you know that the case is against you, and you want to you want to, like, if you plead guilty, is there a lesser charge available for you to plead to? Yeah, so like example, I was up on a section 4 harassment with threats, right, for threatening my sister's ex-boyfriend, some bully fucking scumbag from the Oldham area who grew bare muscles, kicked fuck out my sister, harassed her, and then bricked her windows, right. Thinks he's a big football hooligan, right, and he ran to the police. That's where I got involved, threatened him, turned up at his work, and all this stuff, right. They tried to do me for section 4 harassment with threats. My starting point, I went not guilty. When I went to court, I was looking at a minimum 19 months, right, starting point. So I was doing 19 months in jail, right, if found guilty, right. So I thought the evidence was against me, right, CCTV of me going into his work and stuff. So I said to my barrister, I said, listen, I said, see if they'll take a lesser charge and I'll plead guilty to a lesser charge. So my solicitor went and spoke to the prosecution. The prosecution is a barrister that works for the Crown Prosecution Service, and said, look, he'll plead guilty to a lesser charge. Will you offer him a lesser charge? They said, yeah. It's all about them hitting targets. They just want conviction rates. It's as simple as that. Because if I run trial, there's no guarantee that they're going to get conviction. So it's all conviction for them. They've got like conviction rates that they have to hit, like targets and stuff. As mad as that sounds, it's true. So I threw my hand into. They offered me a lesser charge of malicious communication. Right, malicious communication's a minor. Right, because I threatened him on the phone and stuff. They did me for malicious communication. My starting point, check this, right, just by me thinking, it's either a fight or flight situation. You think, right, I'm running trial or I'm fucked here, I'm going to get found guilty, throw your hand in, right. So I threw my hand in. I pleaded guilty. So they offered me a charge of malicious communication. That was the first time the charge was put to me. So because it's the first time I've heard of this charge, I get my third off, right. But my starting point was only 6 weeks, right. So I get my third off. That was 28 days. So the judge gave me 28 days. Fucking minor, mate. 28 days in jail. What a stupid fucking charge, mate. And I got a 2-year restraining order as well, but there's ways around that. But yeah, so like I say, there's just one of them things, man. Right, listen guys, anyway, I've waffled on for long enough, right, with this video. Hope you get an insight to what I'm talking about. If there's any further questions off the back of it, if you don't understand anything, please feel free to drop me a message and I'll reply as best as I can. Like I say, I'm not legally trained, so you always seek legal advice first. I'm coming from a criminal's perspective of my experiences and stuff. And my life experience and my experience with prison and courthouses and the police is quite high. But like I say, again, I'm not legally trained. I'm just talking you through situations that are relevant to me and to give you guys advice about if you go to Magistrates Court and are offered trial there, decline it at all costs and opt to go Crown. Trust me, you'll thank me in the long run. Right, guys, listen, I'll leave it there. I hope you're having a great day. Like, subscribe, comment, share my videos, follow me on Twitter, get me on Facebook, all that good stuff. All right, guys, take care. Bye.